Live from Richard Thurman Entertainment Studios in San Antonio, Texas. Welcome to Fandom of the Beard with Mark.
I would much rather fist a Cuisinart.
Chris.
It's like, does Batman let himself go?
And Levin. And I caught a glimpse of the elusive Brett Ratner in his natural environment. With special guest, Ogre, Fandom of the Beard.
Hi everybody, welcome to the second episode of Fandom of the Beard. Today's episode will be San Antonio local hauntings and just general ooky spooky stuff.
And he's doing the laugh again.
Yeah, and you're like nose breathing into the mic.
You really? You're under the impression that was unintentional. I got what I was going for. It's like the breath in the back of your neck kind of thing. I am actually pretty good at that. They did spend 7 years begging me to scare the crap out of people.
Oh, nice. Let's do introductions real quick. Again, my name is Mark.
I'm Levin.
And I'm Chris. And I'm Ogre.
Yep. We have a special guest today. His name is Ogre.
Define special.
You know.
Well, I guess the short version of it is it's all Ogre now.
Yes, it is.
All hail the Ogre Lord.
I, for one, welcome our new robot, Ogre Lord.
Yes, please do welcome the Ogre Lord. You're going to want to keep that in your mouth.
Yes.
How many times have you said that? Oh, man. So, how was everybody's week? Weeks?
Mine's been good. I got sick.
Interesting.
Well, I stayed sick, as it were. I'm just less sick now.
Yeah, I know. You gave me like level 3 Ebola. Fucking sucks. I wake up, I cough, I taste death.
So did you cure it with a potion of cure disease or something?
No,
level 3 Ebola.
I have honestly cured it with...
hatred.
Yes. No, Chris came by our house. We actually went to dinner. He held my hand and other things. It was quite nice. But he brought like CVS like Mucinex. I mean, I don't know. I've been crushing them up and snorting them, so that's about the point that I'm at.
That's the secret way of taking those things. Guaifenesin is your friend.
So, I mean, Chris has been the death. I have been the death. Levin.
Oh, I got back into a self-abuse habit. I picked up Dark Souls again.
What happened to Skyrim?
I'm destroying Skyrim. The problem with Skyrim is that I'm just utterly destroying that world. There's a point at which you just become so powerful that anything that comes up to you is just going to get obliterated. The frost troll that would completely annihilate you in the beginning of the game becomes a freaking peon that you can just burn to death in about 8 seconds. That's when you start questing
for those special weapons.
See, I did that. I got the Mace of Moloch Ball, which is ridiculous. I got the Ebony Knife, which deals a load of damage. It's just, I'm too powerful. That's
did you get Occam's Razor yet? There's seriously a dagger in that game called
Occam's Razor.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I did. I think I did. But I probably sold it because the one that I had made was better. Which now typically happens. I find these crazy badass or supposed to be badass weapons, but my smithing is high enough that I can just make better weapons.
Well, if you are trying to compare things to Occam's Razor, then the simplest method would be the best. Yes.
Exactly. And so, it's, yeah.
As far as gaming goes, I've been... stuck to World of Warcraft again.
I'm sorry?
No, I like it. They're coming out with a new patch where what they did is everything that you know and love about the game, they then put a fist in it.
But that's every patch.
No, this one was worse. I mean...
Worse than pandas?
Yes.
Worse than pandas.
Yeah,
that is impressive.
I was sitting at about 300k health, and after the patch, I was down to 60k health. They completely nerfed everything. But wow. Luckily, I was running around with my guild, Dawn of Light, I think is their name, and they got me some gear, and I was able to run around and kind of get back to where I was. It's quite nice.
Yeah, I've been playing Destiny myself lately, and they kind of nerfed my auto rifle. So I went from doing really awesome at multiplayer. Now it's just like, oh, yeah, sure, just hit me once and I'm dead. Thanks, bye.
You haven't picked up the new the prequel to Borderlands?
I'm going to pick up later this week.
Okay.
For my birthday.
Oh, right. Let's all, golf clap for Chris's birthday. That's coming up. We're not going to be on air. So.
Yeah, I'm closer to death. Yeah.
I cannot watch him drink that stuff. I cannot watch him drink it. It's so gross.
Really, your Mountain Dew?
So gross.
Really? I love that sketch.
Yes,
And you're gonna
I understand, but the thing is I spent money on this.
Dude, I feel bad for you that you spent
It's
money on
$1.
that.
You could throw it away.
But yeah, please. I can't.
No, it was like $1.60 something.
Oh my God, $1.67 for that?
Yeah. For that what?
Yeah.
Pig swill?
It really is.
No,
That's
an upgrade. That's what happens at the opposite end of the pig swill.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's go ahead and touch base on this. It's the new Mountain Dew Game Fuel. They come out with a Game Fuel.
Do it.
No, that's correct. Do not do that.
They come out with a Game Fuel for every other game. It started with Halo 3. And it was like some orange-infused butthole juice. And the problem is that now they made Mountain Dew with a blast of lemonade flavor.
Wait a second. So that's Game Fuel. So what that means is that bright yellow substance was designed for the kind of person that sits at their computer desk and doesn't want to leave because they're busy gaming, which means they made something that color for a breed of human being that pisses into soda bottles, which means at some point someone's going to pick up the wrong one. That's why it tastes like that.
That's why it tastes like that, so they won't notice.
Okay, I'm sorry.
My ears are burning.
I am definitely going to leave that in. That was Richard. Again, we're at Richard Thurman Studios recording our podcast, so that was Richard.
Wait, this is being recorded?
Yes, but only for quality assurance purposes.
Oh, okay. So
And for the government.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
And yeah, the NSA asked us to report all of your activities for unrelated reasons, so we're going to go ahead and do that.
I thought that's what the chip was for.
No, the chip is just for your location. We have to actually know what you're doing. It's a problem.
Thursday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mountain Dew Game Fuel. This one is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. They need to stop making Call of Duty games.
Maybe that's what Mountain Dew's trying to say.
Holy shit.
Like, we're out of
It's a
ideas
subliminal thing from Mountain Dew. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, if you release more Call of Duty games, get more Mountain Dew like this. No, we're going to stop the games. We're sorry, Mountain Dew. We're going to stop.
We apologize.
It didn't work for Halo 3. I mean, the Game Fuel that they came out was just... it was so bad.
Well, wait a second. Yeah, but who makes Modern Warfare?
Somebody who has way too much time on their
Neversoft
hands.
and there are two different branches of Modern Warfare. Apparently, there's like the main one, and then there are people that make offshoots.
Yeah, because we don't have enough Call of Duty games on the main line.
Right, no,
Obviously.
right.
Yeah.
Do you know what Halloween smells like to me? Latex and baby powder.
Oh God.
Because that is what the back hallways of every haunted house smell like. They smell like someone's sweaty ass, latex, and baby powder. Because that's what you sweat out of every pore you own after you wear one of those masks for 4 hours.
Well, because there's nowhere else for the sweat to go.
Yeah, no, there really isn't. It actually, at a certain point, actually starts to eat its way back into your pores. And at which point, your facial hair will actually start sweating the next morning because it just sort of starts to ooze back out of your face.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's why you don't have facial hair under one of those masks.
Talk about Halloween horror stories. Holy shit. Getting it started right. All right, good deal.
The true horrors behind the scenes. Oh, that smell. What the fuck?
No. You got to realize, at the haunted house that I used to work at, and will remain nameless, but it was on Grayson Street, and
Like
no
some kind of
longer
crazy
exists.
dream was there.
Like some sort of screaming nightmare on Grayson Street.
I know.
Wait, are we allowed to talk about drugs?
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not like smoking a bowl of meth.
I injected the marijuanas.
Okay. Yeah, so there I was smoking a bowl of meth.
So there it was,
While
breaking
injecting the
not good
marijuanas.
things.
This man injected 4 marijuanas. Now he did. He did.
Dude, I'm about to D on your forehead. So, weren't you Leatherface?
I was in fact Leatherface, and I did in fact almost get shit canned from my job because I clipped Gunnar Hansen with a chainsaw.
Please explain.
So we had Leatherface one year, and Gunnar Hansen, who, for those of you who don't know who Gunnar Hansen is, was Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, came through the house. And the problem with the Leatherface mask is that it is completely skin tight. And for those of you who are watching this on the radio, you will be able to see that I wear glasses, big, thick freaking glasses, and I cannot see jack squat without them on. Therefore, all I was swinging this chainsaw at were random shapes. Now, most of you are probably thinking, oh, well, that's not that scary because it's a haunted house chainsaw. It's probably, no, it's real. And no, there was no gasoline in it, but there was a spark plug in it, and there was a chain on it. And this is important because that means it would still rev like it was going to start, and the chain would still move. And it did have a live and very sharp chainsaw chain on the head of it. So I was swinging a real chainsaw at people. It wasn't moving, but who the hell cares, because I weighed 350 pounds and was swinging a chainsaw. Yeah, we had loads of fun, and he ducked, and I caught him with the flat part of the middle of the blade instead of the actual sharp edge. Did not realize that little petite woman, or blur, because I didn't have my freaking glasses on, walking with him was in fact the house manager. Oh. Needless to say, Natalie was more than a little miffed. Just that I had clipped Gunnar Hansen. He, on the other hand, thought that shit was hilarious. Because he's Gunnar Hansen. This is Leatherface himself. This is the same guy who, at the end of the night, was taking pictures with a bunch of people. And after the crowds had left, he started taking pictures with the employees. And it was no longer $5 a picture. It was now, come get your picture taken with Gunnar Hansen, because he's big and mean and furry and scary. And so people would walk up and they would stand next to Gunnar Hansen. And one of my buddies walks up, my old friend Troll. Now, Troll, who got his nickname through the use of the marijuanas, because it rhymes with his real name and somebody was slurring. Yeah, that was a whole other story about vomit in a pillowcase.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, the person who slept on that bed didn't think so. Troll. He is a whole of 5'4", and so Gunnar Hansen, who is like 6'5", big, heavy dude, decides, okay, in order to get a proper picture with this kid, what I'm going to do is sit down so that we're at the same head height. And so the photographer lines everything up, and Gunnar smiles at the photographer, and Troll smiles at the photographer, and Gunnar wraps his arm around Troll's neck, and he's holding him in sort of a mock headlock for the picture. And the photographer goes, on 3, 1, 2, and Gunnar stood up. He had braced his forearm under Troll's chin and his bicep across the back of his head. So when he stood up, Troll went with him. And he did what any 5'4" tall person does when you take them off the ground. And started flipping his little legs around. Click. Memories. The things you will cherish for your entire life.
Yeah, that actually would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was absolutely awesome working at Grayson. They actually had to retire that scene at the end of the year because the aforementioned chainsaw did in fact have a live blade on it, and the inside sets of those scenes are made out of plywood. And you see, when you are big and scary and trying to scare the crap out of people by swinging, and blind, of course.
That's the key point there.
And swinging a chainsaw around one-handed, you generally just start whacking it into things that aren't people.
Well, that's advisable, I think.
The aren't people part, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
My manager did not, quote, so much agree with the whacking it into things. Like, I don't understand why you keep hitting things with it. I'm like, it weighs 8 pounds. You want me to swing it at people with one hand? I'm going to have to stop it somehow. And although I am playing Leatherface, I'm not hitting myself in the leg with this thing again. Mm-hmm. So we were shooting a commercial for that year at the beginning of the year, and I actually did the thing that Leatherface does where he jams it into his leg and has to start it to get it back out, except I didn't start it. I just sawed off a piece of my leg with a chainsaw because apparently I wasn't paying attention to how sharp that blade was. I assure you it's sharp enough to go straight through the leather apron they had me wearing and my jeans.
Why would they leave the chain on in the first place? That's my biggest question there. Why not just at least dull the chain?
Nope. So I will explain to you exactly why they left the chain on and why they left the spark plug in it. Because without the spark plug in it, when you pull the cord, absolutely nothing happens.
No, I understand that, but at least dull.
Wait. Hear me out. I promise there's a point to my story, Betty.
Is it on the top of your head?
Yeah, it's one of those. So as you get the chainsaw going, you decide, okay, well, I'm going to swing this thing, and there's this 2x4 railing around the edge of the scene that's basically the don't walk into the actor, he might kill you because he can't see you, he's blind and has a chainsaw.
That's a big sign.
Yeah, essentially. So because it's got the spark plug in it, it's got the blade on there, when you swing it, it'll stick in the wood, but it's stuck. But when you rev it, the chain moves just a little bit as it's trying to turn over. And when it moves, it frees itself from the wood so that you can get it unstuck, which is really entertaining when you get the chainsaw stuck in the wood and people see that you cannot remove it and you go to start it. And they are now convinced that you're going to start a working chainsaw, and they no longer want to be in a 15 by 15 foot room with the guy with the chainsaw. And the entire point of a haunted house is to make the people want to go into the next scene with this much less urine in their bladder. We actually had an award for calling the mop crew. If your scene caused someone to evacuate some part of their anatomy more than 3 times in one night, you got a cash bonus on your paycheck.
Wow.
Like they would actually, we had a guy named Country who was the man when it came to making people piss themselves. And
With a name like Country, I believe it.
Well, they called him Big Country because, you see, that was about the kind of feller he was. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah, no, I can tell you about that.
he was a slightly methy individual, and no, I don't have a lisp. So
He was a meth doctor.
yeah, exactly, very much. And
Let's just say he did a lot of meth.
Is that what you're trying to say? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you. I will stop trying to spell around the barrier. Thanks.
Ogre and I worked at a store that was...
God save me.
I can't mention the name. It was very spirited.
It was a very spirited Halloween store.
Yes. Oh, I don't want to get sued by Spencer's, like they're small enough to come after my ass.
Actually, Spencer's owned the company at the time, but Spencer's no longer owns it.
Yeah, it's like a franchise now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's its own thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of my coworkers runs one.
Oh, nice.
Neato.
Please give them my condolences.
So
I bet
this
you his full-time
was...
job right now is just doing that.
Still.
This was after what, Spider-Man 1 or 2 came out? It had to have been 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, because I was working at Blockbuster when Spider-Man... Blockbuster, back in the day.
You could rent videos?
There were videos.
They were video cassettes.
They were cassettes, not DVDs.
What about beta? That's a better format.
Okay.
Okay, do I need to tell you what killed beta? Does everyone in this room know what killed beta?
Porn.
Why do I imagine the seagulls from Finding Nemo that are just like...
was pretty porn.
So,
Porn?
I think really like somebody playing ping pong with the Super Bowl. Like porn.
but Ogre and I... This is how it went down. I came home from school. I got a call on my house phone. That's how long ago this was. God, you can still hear it. Oh, man.
I'm taking the Doritos away.
What flavor are they? Bone?
Great.
Make me ask for Doritos and Gatorade. I'm going to hate you with all of my hate.
Yes, but it'll only be for the next 10 minutes.
It's, Gatorade and Doritos are going to be stuck in your sinuses. You're all like, does it smell like bro in here?
Today on the Halloween episode, one of us is going to die.
No.
Everything smells like bro in here. What the fuck?
Bros.
Okay, so
Bros.
I came home.
Bros.
I got a phone call, and it was Ogre, and he's like, what are you doing? Well, I just got home. Okay, I need you to come here. You're going to work with me. He didn't say where. He gave me an address. So, I mean, I could have been showing up to a warehouse, and he's hacking up 12 hookers, and he's just like, grab a spatula, we got to do this.
Okay, wait, stop. I just have to point out that at no point in my life have I hacked up a number of hookers that was not prime.
He has a thing, man.
Come on, respect the thing.
I would never, under any circumstance, if I was hacking up 12 hookers, that means the 13th was still alive. I just want to point that out. Okay, you can continue now.
So, I show up, and it was, it was a spirited store next to Barnes & Noble's.
Yep. We were next to a Buns and Noodle.
Yeah. Barnes & Noble's is still around, right? It's
Yeah.
Borders,
Yes.
It's Borders that
Borders
crapped out?
closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
They closed the borders.
So I show up, and it's everybody
Somebody
who
walked in the
I
polo.
had hung out with previously, because we were all in a group. And somehow Ogre had convinced his manager that hiring all of his outside buddies was a good idea. It wasn't.
I have just one word. Tom.
Porn?
No. So it started out, I mean, everything was great. We were all very professional, and it literally degraded within 3 days.
I'd like to point out that there was one particular individual who was not Mark, who I did hire, who I had to hire under an assumed name, as he was not legally permitted to work in the United States. Now, let me clarify. He was an American citizen. Naturally born American citizen. His right to work in the United States had been revoked as a condition of his parole.
Neat.
Due to anger management, he was not permitted to have a job.
Neat.
So a holiday-themed store is the best place for him?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What an excellent plan.
People thought he was part of the attraction.
I could literally go on for hours about this, but I'll hit the main points.
Please.
Spider-Man 2 had just come out. It was the most sought-after costume. To the point to where when we ran out, we had to put up a giant sign that said, "We do not have Spider-Man costumes. Go elsewhere. Please do not ask us."
And when he says giant, I think you need to understand, in order to walk into the store, there was only one entrance. In order to walk through this entrance, you had to walk around the sign that said, "No Spider-Man."
And I had this woman had a haircut that just screamed, "Let me see your manager." So she walks in and she looks at me and says, "Do you have a Spider-Man costume?" And I look at her and was like, "Ma'am, you need to leave." And she said, No, you need to get me a Spider-Man costume. So I grab a foam sword and I was like, "Go."
Wait. It needs to be said. What day was this?
The 30th?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
30th of October.
Now, mind you, I had missed a month of school working at this store. I literally slept in the store, open to close, for a solid month because we lost people. People quit. There were five of us, if that. Yeah, 5 trying to run this store.
We went from a staff of 35 to a staff of 9 in a week. Because we had 8 people get fired and then another dozen people quit because those people got fired. And it basically boiled down to, all right, all of you are now on the schedule from open to close. If you don't show up, don't bother. And we went down to having, I think it was about 7 or 8 people running the store. And I went from being one of the managers to the manager.
Yeah, because the manager of the store stopped showing up after about $3,000 came up mysteriously missing.
Mysteriously.
Yeah.
Only $3,000?
Yeah.
It was the day's cash receipts.
Yeah. So I have this foam sword. I'm telling the lady she needs to run. And our
Run away.
Yeah.
Run away immediately.
I'm running off of like a half-hour sleep in the last 3 years. Like, that's how bad it was. Our counter, air quotations, was made up of 7 cardboard boxes and some plywood.
Holy shit. What?
And she proceeded to call me names, so I went through the counter and chased her around the store, and she bolted out the front door.
You realize it took me like 20 minutes to fix that counter. To completely refill all those cardboard boxes.
With Ogre in tow, screaming, "No, Mark, no, do not kill this woman." And I was in a blind rage.
I would like to point out that when the schizophrenic sadist is the voice of reason, you've gone too far.
I went and saw Left Behind.
No.
Yes.
Why would you do that to yourself?
My lovely significant other was like, "We need to go see this movie." I'm like, "I know what it's about. This is not going to be okay." And honestly, it is a wonderful plot. It could be awesome. It could be. But then you throw in Nicolas Cage and Wee Man.
Wee Man?
Wee Man. I think that was Wee Man. There was literally a small person in the movie. And what bothered me is, okay, they go through, it sets up the dad is cheating, the daughter came home from college, nobody likes the mother because she is,
The word
Yes.
you are looking for is fundy.
And the daughter and the mom get in a fight, and she takes off with her little brother, and they're at the mall, and it's very 90s-esque. Like, there are people breakdancing in the middle of the mall.
That would be the 80s, sir.
No, this was like 90s breakdancing.
Did you see a computer with a bunch of flickering flying shit on it, hacker style? Is that somewhere in the mall?
So
Displaying the new operating system.
Was there at Babbage's?
No, like the way they did it was the little brother got lost. She found the little brother. She hugs the little brother. Was like, "Don't ever do that again." Flash a white light, and she's holding his clothes. And she like freaks out a little bit, just a little bit. Not like, not like, oh sweet Jesus, where the hell did he go? Why am I holding his clothes? Something bad is happening. She freaks out a little bit, goes through his backpack. It literally takes, and I counted it, 45 seconds to go from people in the mall are missing to looting.
Wow.
There is no segue. It is, oh my God, my loved one is gone. I want that TV. It's mine.
Yeah, I can understand that.
No, I do not think that society would shit a brick that fast.
Give it a minute.
Yeah, I would go.
It was just, it was horrible. And the fact that they ran out of like CGI money probably for the last 45 minutes of the movie. And the father is stuck in an airplane, so they're trying to land this airplane, and I literally could have, like, the only thing that they CGI'd out was a little hand flying the airplane into shot. Like, that's how it looked like, just like a plastic airplane.
So, like, Star Trek the motion picture.
Worse.
What? That's not even reasonable. They did that on a literal shoestring.
So was Ed Wood turning over in his grave or something?
Yeah.
I watched Frighteners for the first time last night.
Right. You had messaged me.
Yes.
And were telling me that.
It's a good movie.
I was like, was there more to that? You're like, I saw this film.
No, I was
There
going to say,
was a film. I observed it with my eyeballs.
I was basically going to say, I was like, I'm upset that I never actually watched it before until like last night, because I used to see the cover all the time. Like, man, that looks really good. No, I'll save it for later, kind of thing. And then finally got off my ass and watched it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Zemeckis made good movies. Zapruder made good movies.
Yeah, he did.
I firmly...
Just the one, it apparently was a really big hit.
Yeah.
Well, I just really enjoy. I also really like Edward Norton as an actor. I like his performances in general.
Wait.
Even including.
Wait.
Why are we bringing Evan Horton?
Yeah.
Did I not just hear Fight Club?
No, it said Frighteners.
Oh, I
Frighteners,
could have
dude.
sworn you said fucking Fight Club, bro.
That's why you're like, I love Edward Norton. What the hell's in that Mountain Dew? I'm a huge fan of Michael J. Fox. Fantastic movie.
Indeed.
Wait,
That
Michael J.
guy's in
Fox is
town,
Fight Club?
actually.
Who?
Ernie.
Ernie Hudson?
Yes, he's in town, I think, this weekend for some sort of gun show. Or like a military expo or something.
Isn't this gun show? I'm
Wait a
holding
minute,
up my
Ernie
gloves.
Hudson?
Not Ernie Hudson. Ernie,
Are you talking about Lee Ermey?
yeah, Lee Ernie. Yeah.
Oh, Arlie
Gunny.
Gunny.
Yeah.
He's in town for some kind of big military event.
Yeah.
He's
I had no
actually
idea.
doing a lot of pictures and everything, and
I love that guy.
Okay, so Chris had done a bunch of research on local haunted houses. Not like the ones that you pay to get into, but places in San Antonio that are legitimately haunted. Correct? Like
Did a little bit of research. I've actually been to a couple of them here in town.
Oh.
Like Victoria's Black Swan Inn. That was really nice.
did you see anything?
No.
Okay.
You gotta understand here.
did you have your eyes open?
Yes. You gotta understand here. I'm
How
like,
did you see nothing?
I saw nothing spooky. As it were. Spooky. But no, like, I'm the worst person to bring to like these haunting houses kind of thing, because I'm the person who's like, no, science, no, it's not, doesn't make sense to me, or whatever, it's fine.
Well, okay, and let's get into that discussion real quick. The theory of spirits, ghosts. So, scientifically speaking, the theory of, the ghost hunters. Well, I'll use the actual show Ghost Hunters, the Atlantic Paranormal Society, TAPS.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, you've seen at least one episode, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I had like a little app over their phone thing.
Yeah. They use a lot of equipment. They use a lot of science. It's not them walking around. Okay, have you seen Ghost Adventures? That show?
I've seen a couple of different things here. And
So Ghost Adventures is literally them walking into like an abandoned fill in the blank, and they're all like, "I felt something," whereas Ghost Hunters uses equipment and will only present something if they find scientific proof. So you saying that you believe in science as that's your excuse to not believe in ghosts?
It's not my excuse not to believe. It's just I haven't seen anything yet to me that convinces. I'm more of like hypercritical of things, like the Amazing Randy kind of thing, where I'm always trying to find reasons. Like, not trying to find reasons, but like finding reasons why this doesn't make any sense to me. It's just, I don't know.
Well, it's an extreme skeptical attitude,
Yes,
which is
I think that's what
generally
it is.
how the scientific method advances, except that the scientific method also suggests that there cannot be anything outside of our understanding, and that's an assumption that it makes, which is
But it is an
incorrect. It's an assumption that it makes that must be incorrect, because there are things of which we are ignorant with our current scientific advances. We don't know. Hell, right now it's in question whether or not black holes exist. It's interesting to me that science so easily discounts paranormal anything, and I'm a man of science, but at the same time, I have to. I do not see a choice except to believe that there are things out there that we don't understand, that we can't understand.
And
yet.
see, is there a reason behind that? Have you experienced?
Absolutely, a few things.
Explain.
Well, for one, this is going to sound really dumb.
No. I understand that this segment is going to be this one time I was sitting in a dark room and something touched my bum.
Well,
That was your gym teacher.
that was your gym teacher. It was.
What do you mean I don't have an Uncle Phil?
So the first experience that I had was when I was probably 7 or 8. I had a room with bunk beds. They used to belong to my sisters when we were in a smaller house, and I had my own room because I was the baby and I was clearly the favorite. So anyway, so I'm sleeping on the top bunk, and this feeling of absolute terror came over me, and I don't know where it came from, because my parents did the monster spray thing until I was too old to believe in monsters, which was about 6, and I didn't believe in them anymore. I thought they were bullshit, and this terror, this anguish, really, it was awful, and I tried to get away from it in every way I could, and I squeezed over towards the wall, and I tried to put as much of the bed between myself and it as I could. I perceived it in the room somewhere, but I couldn't see it or hear it, but I could feel it emotionally. Yeah, it sounds really dumb.
Well, okay, playing devil's advocate, that could have been a panic attack.
It's true, except that I've never had one before or since.
Okay.
Actually, it's it's like very, very highly unlikely for a 6-year-old child in a circumstance like that to have an anxiety or panic attack.
Especially since it was a routine night, nothing had happened out of the ordinary.
Like I said, playing devil's advocate.
Well, of course, and hence why I responded to it.
So, I mean, Chris, you haven't had any sort of experiences, anything unexplained?
I have. When I was like 4 or 5-year-old, I would actually watch horror movies with my babysitter. Like I remember watching Jason 7 and things of that nature. I was like, man, why is your head missing? Kind of things. Like, whatever. And then when I turned 6, I was like, oh, imagination. So I became shit scared of everything. Like, Are You Afraid of the Dark used to scare me when I was like 12 or so. And then after that, around 14, I was like, oh, wait, no. Imagination, that's silly stuff. So then I went to complete opposite end where I'm like pure logic now. Where it's like, I'm not scared of like horror movies anymore. But I do get scared of things. All my nightmares consist of things I can't explain. So I think it kind of comes back to, I was at a friend's house. I was 6. I was like 7 or 8. I was probably 8. Staying the night. 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, we're falling asleep, going to bed. And I hear somebody calling for my name at the window. It sounds like my 2-year-old sister. And it was weird. I was like, what the hell's going on? I look across at him, and he's like, did you hear that?
That has got to be the scariest thing in the world, is when you hear something and then the person next to you is like, holy shit, did you hear that?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, it was me shitting myself.
Yeah, it was weird. It sounded like exactly like my 2-year-old sister, like, Chris, like just calling out for me. It was weird.
Oh my God. Dude,
Jesus.
no.
Are you sure it wasn't?
No, I'm pretty sure. I don't think she could unlock a door at that age yet.
have thumbs. I know they have thumbs.
And Ogre, you were telling me about an experience that you had actually working at Grayson. Are you comfortable talking about that?
Yeah, well, it was my first year working at Grayson, which was awesome, and everything was going great. And then I was there for like a week and a half, and then everybody was freaking out one night. All the people that had been working there for some time were freaking out one night because Mike didn't show up. Mike, who was always on time. Mike, who was always there for the entire season, did clean up before the season, did tear down at the end of the season, was always there, and Mike didn't show up. Nobody knew why Mike didn't show up. And the following night, everybody knew why Mike didn't show up. Because he didn't make it to work that night. Mike was in a car accident, and that was Friday night. It was the first week that we were open on Thursdays. We were open on Thursday. Mike didn't show up. We were open on Friday. Mike didn't show up. We were open on Saturday. There was Mike. Apparently, that evening, no less than half of the actors saw him in the house. Now, I didn't know who the guy was, so I'd never met him before. Or I guess I'd met him, but he was just another one of the actors. Like 60 people in black jeans, black shoes, black long sleeve shirts with black hair and eyeliner walking around in this place. You know,
It wasn't a goth club?
it was a haunted house.
Oh, okay. It's the same thing.
Yeah, basically.
So yeah.
You know, well, but a lot of the masks leave your eyes exposed. You know, they're not quite tight. So everybody's walking around, and they've got like that sport paint, the stuff that athletes wear under their eyes, packed all the way around their eyes, or they've just got that crappy, 99-cent Halloween makeup, and they've just got it caked around their eyeballs because it keeps your eyes from, otherwise you got this glow, because you're pale, you glow, you're a goth, you're pale. That's sort of, those are the type of people that this place attracts.
I know a thing or two about being exceedingly pale.
I totally understand what you're saying, sir.
They're comparing milky man titties.
So that night, I get stuck in one of the lousy scenes. I get stuck in the plant scene, and I'm just sitting back there, and I'm going, oh, okay. So when somebody comes by, literally, it's like this giant fake Little Shop of Horrors plant. And basically, when somebody comes by, you just sort of wiggle the handle that makes the mouth move. Yay, this is scary. Yeah. And you taunt people, and everybody goes by and just sort of sticks their hands in it and rips a chunk off because nobody thinks it's scary. And I'm sitting back there and I'm going, this is really boring. But hey, I'm, getting paid to do jack, and I'm every now and then scaring the crap out of an 8-year-old or some guy in his 40s who watched The Little Shop of Horrors when he was 7 and lost it and can't handle the giant man-eating plant for whatever reason. And then there's splashing behind me, and I'm like, why is there splashing behind me? And I go back there, and some schmuck, this scene backed up to the warehouse where all the really big props were kept. And back there is a bathtub, like an old clawfoot bathtub, that's about 3/4 full of fake blood. And then there's footprints leading away from it in one direction, back into the warehouse. And I'm going, I work in a haunted house. Somebody's got a sick sense of humor. Whatever. And at the end of the night, I make a comment to my friend. I'm like, hey, so-and-so, I'm working in plant. It looked like somebody went back into the warehouse and walked through that old tub full of fake blood that's back there and made footprints all over the place. And she goes, what do you mean tub full of fake blood? I went, ha, 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 ha. What? So we proceed to go into the back, and there's the clawfoot tub. It's just there. It's just a clawfoot tub. It is bone empty. The footprints are still there. And I'm going, huh? Haunted house? Sense of humor? And she goes, those are Mike's boots. And I went, huh? What? Because this guy wore the same pair of Docs to work every single day. Now, if you've ever seen the bottom of a pair of Airwave soles, they have a distinct tread pattern. Well, since this guy was around all of the time, including when they were doing yard work and when they were tracking mud through the place and had to clean it up, they knew what his footprints actually looked like. And I'm going to thanks. And they were there for the rest of the season. They were dry and just sort of there. And I'm like, no, I would greatly appreciate it if I never got to work that scene again. And they proceeded to go, okay, well, you're brand new and you've been working here for about a week and a half, and therefore we're going to respect your request by sticking you back in plant. And he apologized for scaring me. Now, I couldn't see him, and I'm still not 100% convinced it was not one of the actors trying to make me crap myself because I was a new guy. But he fit the description. Right size, right height, right weight. Was the only guy there that fit that description. I never saw that guy any other night. Then when he walked up behind me and said, sorry about last night, and I turned around and said, what do you mean? And he said, have a good night. And somebody walked into the scene, and I turned around, and I went, and there's nobody there anymore. New shorts, please? Because I was 17 years old. Oh. And I thought I was Billy Badass.
And then you learned wrong.
So you wore your brown pants that night, black pants.
Yeah, that's the biggest point is we're a room of 4 people, and everybody has some sort of paranormal story. Everybody has that one story that they just can't explain.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got a lot more stories that I just can't explain, but I'm schizophrenic.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. By the way, that might have something to do with that.
I've got a thing that I can't. I've got a thing that I can't explain, but
is it the weird rash?
Yes.
Is it a misshapen
You
mole?
beat me to it.
Yeah.
Did you say is it in the shape of Ebola?
Is it a misshapen mole?
No.
Regarding skin cancer, not current trends.
Do you guys know what an empath is?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There's one on Star Trek.
Yeah. Okay. So without quite that particular massive set of abilities, that little bit of plot glue that
That's
Deanna
not
Troy
the only
has.
thing that she had a massive set of.
Boobies.
Yes. Porn. I have the occasional flash of what people are feeling, and I know that it's what someone else is feeling. I can perceive my own emotions and others coming from other sources. At least it feels that way to me. I could also be certifiably insane. There's really no way to verify.
There is no could be.
Actually, yeah, there is. It's called a PET scan, and they're really expensive and kind of unpleasant.
Yeah,
I
they are.
don't feel like finding out about that.
But no, you're not insane. I have the same kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're not insane.
Well,
or we're both insane.
And again, playing devil's advocate, I mean, people are empathetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just different degrees of empathy. And also you could process things at a subconscious level of reading body language to where you can pick up their emotions.
Yeah, and normally I would 100% hop on that train. And if I hadn't felt my, at the time, girlfriend's emotions from halfway across town, I would totally be right on that.
Yeah. And the thing is I play devil's advocate, but I'm also a huge believer in paranormal. But I do draw the line at I don't believe in the Sasquatches.
No.
Sasquatchy.
Well, we've
Have you seen Levin?
Exactly. Like me and Levin went to forest one day. We saw my footprints in Levin's. Like, oh shit.
And they were like, God damn it.
Actually, you know what's a funny story on that? Peter Mayhew. Mm-hmm.
I met him. He's a really nice guy.
And he is. But they actually wouldn't let him take the suit home with him.
Oh yeah,
when they were
shot.
Yeah, because they figured if he wore the Chewbacca costume anywhere in California, somebody would just drop him like a shot. Yeah, they were concerned that if he wore that outfit, somebody would be like Sasquatch.
Yep.
But no, I actually met him. His feet are actually smaller than me. It's weird.
Yeah.
His feet are smaller than you?
Smaller than mine.
Oh, it's like I would assume his feet are smaller than you. If his feet were bigger than
No, like he's taller than me, but his feet are shorter than mine. It's weird.
Like I said, I'm a big believer in it. I've had my own personal experiences. But so my paranormal experience actually involves a priest. I was at my mother's house who there's some activity there. Footsteps, voices. My grandfather actually passed in that house, and we can clearly hear him sometimes. A car will pull up in the driveway we'll see headlights pull up, but there's no car. I've actually had the front door blow open about 3-4 times. Just open. There was an officer who lived there beforehand who was unfortunately lost in the line of duty. And he keeps trying to come home, is my thought. When I was living at my mother's, I'd always had really bad experiences in my room, to the point of where I had a corner desk and it sounded like someone threw it on the ground. and crashed computers, everything. And the person I was sleeping next to at that point jumped, and she said, did you hear that too? And I went, oh, thank God I'm not crazy.
Oh, but wait. Oh, God. Yeah.
So my mother belonged to a church, and I knew one of the priests very well. I asked him to come and bless the house. Now, my mother has a china cabinet. It used to be a hot water closet. So there's no entrance, no exit except for that one door. And he is setting up. He's got a bowl of holy water that he is blessing. He's got about 5 crosses that he's going to be blessing and putting above each doorway. And he's going through blessing the water. I don't know if it's called a hymn, the incantation. I'm not a religious person.
It's called a blessing.
It's called a blessing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So he's going through that, and on the china cabinet door, there's knocking. And the priest stops, and I look at him, I was like, no, this is your job. You need to keep going.
Do I know this priest?
Yes.
Does he have a 2-letter name or a 4-letter name?
2-letter name.
Okay, yeah. This is a really awesome guy. This is somebody who is a good person.
And he was ex-Marine, so, I mean, he has seen some stuff. But it stopped him in the middle of his blessing. And I looked at him, I was like, no, seriously, you got to keep going. And he continues, and the knocking gets louder and louder and louder. And finally, he picks up the Bible, slams it closed, and turns, looks at the door, and he's like, I've never seen this man cuss. He is a priest. He is a man of the cloth. He looks at the door and says, if you don't fucking stop, I will find you. And it stops.
Now, I can clarify.
Marine priest for the win.
I was
battle mage.
None of this surprises me. Like, if you were to take all of the best things about that level 25 D&D cleric that everybody likes having in the party, that is this man. Because I can picture him walking around in a chain skirt with a mace going, you people messed up now.
But, I mean, and he finished up, and the noises stopped for the most part. We'll still see the headlights. The front door will pop open. The footsteps are there, but there isn't the feeling of maliciousness there anymore. And I think that in itself is probably one of the worst things, is you were in your house where you were supposed to feel safe. That is why you own a house.
Yeah, safe as houses.
Right. But if you move into a house and there is an unseen, unspoken force that makes you feel unwanted in a place that you are living, that has got to be one of the worst feelings in the world.
It's got to fuck you right up.
Yep.
I actually had a few other paranormal experiences as well that I hadn't yet shared because I didn't want to bring in the religious aspect. But I mean, since it's
since it's out there,
yeah.
I mean,
well, in my church where I was growing up, who I won't name.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, we had a guest speaker, and he was a really well-known guest speaker in the church community of which I was a part. He was a well-known holy man, as it were, and he was really well-known for practicing what he preached and for really living his sermons, and really well-known for being particularly righteous, as it were. And he mentioned that he mentioned a revival that we had coming up, and he said, and you need it because there are bad things happening in this place, and I can tell. And there is a demon in this room. And he pointed, kind of just an idle gesture, but he pointed. And everybody else in the church looked and looked away. And I did not look away. Because there was a dude in a coat. Long coat. White, buttons down the front, it was a trench coat, and he had a white fedora on. And I don't mean a trilby, which people keep calling fedoras. I mean a fedora. It was a wide-brimmed hat, went all the way around his head, and it was pulled down kind of low. I thought, that's weird. That's a weird get-up to wear to church. And the thing in the coat looked at me, and I realized that it was not, in fact, a person when it did not have a face. It was just a black thing. It was human-shaped as it filled out the coat. I didn't notice its legs, but it looked at me, and it was a black what looked like a face with no features. And then it walked toward the wall, toward a window, and was gone. That still comes back to me in my nightmares today.
Yeah, I mean, if that doesn't make you believe in something, that's gonna...
And I'm sorry for saying this, but are you sure, you didn't, imagine Inspector Gadget or have some kind of bad feelings on Inspector Gadget?
Yeah, no, I mean...
I would like to remind you of one very important thing. He's 24.
I still know who Inspector Gadget is.
Right.
However...
But when you were 6 years old, he wasn't a major part of your life.
No, he was not. In fact, he was not a major part of my life ever because I was not allowed to watch most TV shows. Including the Smurfs, for God's sake.
Because Gargamel was a witch.
Exactly.
Did you ever see the Thundercats?
Of course not. That would have been going against my parents' wishes.
Absolutely. And the reason it would have been going against your parents' wishes is because
Mum-Ra.
I was going to say Chitara.
Is because the Thundercats are described, the description given of one of the demons of the apocalypse in Revelation 9
I suppose you're
matches...
Since we're kind of touching base with all this, ghosts and specters and whatnot are... I mean, every civilization since the beginning of our civilization has ghost stories.
Mm-hmm. There are ghost stories in cuneiform, the very first written language.
Right. So, scientifically speaking, we are all made of energy. Mm-hmm. There is nothing to say that we do not leave imprints on our time here, our very short time here. So, I mean, what's to say that it isn't just a repeat of imprints that we have left? But then you get into the discussion of what about the paranormal entities that react to things you do, like the knocking on the China door.
Yeah,
poltergeists.
Yeah.
Which is still a scary movie to this day. I watched it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but I was actually referring to...
Yeah, I know, the actual phantasm.
Phantasm,
yes.
the concept.
But I was just bringing up, that movie's still
and they're remaking...
never seen it.
Oh.
They're remaking Poltergeist, which a lot of people died during the filming of those 3 films, including the main actress, the little girl.
Yes. Yep. And the boy.
Yes.
Whose death was on the poster behind him.
Yes.
Wow.
It is, I mean, there's a big thing in Hollywood that, the poltergeist
and Craig T. Nelson's acting career is coach.
But that entire movie series was apparently cursed. Mm-hmm. And then they said, oh yeah, we're gonna remake Poltergeist. And the first thing I thought when that was told to me was like, yeah, fuck it, there are too many actors in Hollywood. Let's thin the herd.
You gotta get a house of Imminence.
Pick the ones we don't like. Can we do that? Can we pick the ones we don't like?
Nicolas Cage,
starring in Poltergeist.
Kanye West.
Nicolas Cage, Pauly Shore, Carrot Top. Ever since there were pictures, the photography, there have been quote unquote pictures of ghosts. Mm-hmm. Whether it be the black-eyed kids, which is scary as shit.
Oh hell yeah!
Has anybody else heard the lore of that?
No, please do expound.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm dead serious, too.
The usually local lore will go, you are driving down a road. You see a child or a set of children on the side of the road. You pull over to ask if they need help, and they do everything they can to get in your car. And when they get in your car, you are never seen from again. The only distinguishing feature that they have is they all have black eyes. People have said that it's demons, it's the ghosts of unbaptized children. Very just scary shit.
But if they do everything they can to get in your car and then you're never seen or heard from again, how do we know they exist?
Because there are people who have stopped, according to lore, there are people who have stopped and asked them if they needed help, and they've tried to get in the car, and the people have felt uneasy, so they just sped off.
Okay.
Did they give the finger as they were leaving? Like, fucking
goddamn kids trying to get in my car. How dare they be hungry? I know it says free candy on the side. You still can't get in.
You've seen my van?
But I also really like the local lore here. There's a set of train tracks.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to call bullshit on that one.
Exactly. Yeah,
I mean, definitely go through the story.
Yes,
and then we can.
And then I'll explain everything.
Yeah, and then we'll sit there and be all like, bullshit.
Gravity.
Gravity. All right, so rather than defile the mic with more John Mayer, the local legend says that there was a school bus full of kids that got stuck on the train tracks. Train came by, hit them. Bunch of kids died. Yeah, to this day, you go to those train tracks if you put baby powder on your bumper, and
That sounds, never mind.
yeah, agreed.
I'll say that sounds dirty.
That sounds dirty. A little too convincing.
Don't ever do that again.
So local legend says that if you go there to this day and you put your car over the train tracks with baby powder on your bumper, and you put it in neutral, your car will sit there for a while, and then it will roll across the tracks, and when you get out and look, there will be small handprints on your bumper. But please, gentlemen, explain why this is bullshit.
Okay.
Gravity?
First off, I'm just gonna say it never happened.
Yeah.
There was no bus full of children hit by a train anywhere in San Antonio.
Correct. That part I did know.
Second off, they say that the street names in the neighborhood are named after the kids that died. They have been named that since the neighborhood was built.
And they're named after the kids of the developer of that area.
Yes. I mean, really, that's what I've got. Is it
Also,
that never happened?
Yeah, never happened. There's a slight incline there, so that's why your car kind of rolls over. And the handprints are like picking up fingerprints for a crime scene. You put the baby powder there, it's the oil left over everybody else touching your bumper. So they seem small to you, it's like, freaking out, but they're just people's have already touched your car. This is your regular hand oil.
Right. Now, that's not to say that, some local legends are not true.
Oh, no.
Chris actually sent us an article from the SA Current of different haunted hotels and places. And,
Like the Menger Hotel or...
the Menger is the biggest one that I've heard of.
It was also Victoria's Black Swan Inn.
Yeah.
I went there for Halloween. It was nice. It was fun.
There's...
Well, the Alamo itself, too.
Well, yeah, and there's some really heinous and horrible things have happened, and then there's places that nobody ever talks about. That things will never be right in, no matter who owns the building or what they put in it. There's a hospital, assisted living facility for the mentally disabled that I used to work in, and I worked there after they shut it down. I did security there.
Is that the one that's actually just like, down the road is a figurative term, but from the tracks?
No, this is over off of Rittiman.
Okay.
This is over...
Is it near the state hospital?
No. That's over near the tracks.
Okay. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Sash is over near the tracks. No, that's occupied.
Yeah.
But we did security there I was working as a security guard, and we got a gig over there, and we went in and we found out that the company that owned this place had been given 72 hours to clear premises by the state health department. They were told, that's it, get out. Migrate every single one of your patients, get them somewhere that's better handled, better staffed, better controlled. And we thought, you know what, yeah, right. They were given 72 hours to clear out. Yeah, this place couldn't possibly have been that badly managed. Well, when you're a security guard, you don't have much to do but sort of wander around the property that you're in. Either that, or apparently, in the opinion of one of my coworkers, got this genius idea that what he should do was make a CD that had 60 minutes of dead air on it so that he could start it when he left for the day, and then 60 minutes later, Tubular Bells would start, which, for those of you who have never heard it, is the theme to Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something to hear 60 minutes into your shift at a supposedly haunted establishment.
Wow.
And I may have painted the chair brown. So
What a bastard. That's a hell of a prank. That's a hell of a prank.
It was, man. I had to high-five him the next day after I punched him in the stomach. But,
Different low five that time.
yeah. But this place was... I know I was the only one there because I was the one responsible for making sure all the doors were locked. And with the exception of the front door, every other door in this building was chained shut. Now, these are sets of double doors at the end of every hallway that were chained and padlocked. and they were chained tightly enough that you could still push the door open from the inside against the chain, but I could not get my hand through the doorway. So these doors are locked from the inside, and they're chained shut. So even if you pick the lock, you got to combat the chain, which means if you do get in, the chain's going to be broken. So how is it that people's property that got left behind was moved? How is it that one day I come into work and I'm asking the rest of the guys, who thought it would be funny to leave a prosthetic leg in the middle of the main hallway?
Holy shit, I remember that prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
That moved to Austin with me.
Yeah, it did, as a matter of fact.
What?
No, I took
Okay.
it. So, what the fuck? So after the third time during my shift that this thing moved around and I...
You decided, hey, Mark, what a gift.
No, I didn't even give it to him. I gave it to another friend of ours, James. Mm-hmm. What happened was, after like the third time this thing moved, I got sick of it moving around, and I was losing it. Now, It was not unusual in this building for a wheelchair to not be where it was left. Brakes are on. It did not roll upon its own. All right, fine. I will deal with that. Still not as creepy as a foot. This is a knee-down prosthetic leg wearing a sock and a shoe.
Oh, God.
Now, this gives you an idea of how well managed this particular piece of property was, that it got left behind.
Not to be confused with the shitty Nicolas Cage movie that I wasted 2 fucking hours on.
Or the one with Kirk Cameron.
Yeah. Oh,
Jesus. So, as he pointed out, this is the one that he got a hold of up in Austin, because I decided that I was sick and tired of this thing moving around during my shift, because on 3 separate occasions during my shift, it moved. I know for a fact I was the only one in that building. There was no one else there. Enough other stuff moved that didn't, I'm like, okay, I can handle this. That bed was not in that hallway yesterday. The rolling medical beds.
Yeah, the gurneys.
Thank you, gurney. So I'm like, no, I've had enough of this foot moving around. So I pick this leg up and I keep it in the office. Well, my relief comes in. I may have forgotten to tell him, not the same guy with the tubular bells CD. But my relief comes in, and I may have forgotten to tell him I left it under the desk. I wanted it somewhere where I knew where it was. So, he found it during his shift, and he hit me with it the next day. When he came in, because it was still in the office, because he's like, you mother trucker. I cannot believe you. And I'm like, dude, it was moving. It was walking around on its own earlier. So, okay, I stuck it somewhere where I could find it. And he's like... And the fact that he accepted that statement proves how freaky this place was. God. There's this prosthetic leg, and apparently everybody decided that there was no way in hell they were leaving this thing in the office. So somebody chunked it down the hallway, and it was next to the office door when he came back, and he decided that thing needed to freaking go. But nobody wanted to throw it in the trash can because they were terrified that if they threw it in the trash can and turned their back, it would come back into the office.
Oh, God.
So they were like, somebody needs to volunteer to take this thing out of here. And everybody was like, got it. I'm like, you know what, guys, to hell with it. I can have fun with that thing. So I took it and I put it in the trunk of my car. Well, fast forward a couple of months, and I've forgotten this thing is in the trunk of my car. It never popped back up in the office. Paperwork kept moving around, but this thing never popped back up in the office. So I forget it's in my car. Well, I drive up to Austin because a friend of mine is in a bad way. So I'm hanging out with my friend James before this, and I hang out with him for a while, and I leave, and I go out to my car, and I pop the trunk to check. Okay, is there anything in here I need? Oh, the foot is there. You should have seen the look on his face. Because I went back over, I knocked on his door, and as soon as he opened it, I just went, I need you to hold on to this for me. I handed it to him, and I left. The next time I spoke to him on the phone, he's like, dude, you need to explain this thing to me. Because he left it on his coffee table.
What's funny about that, the trail on to that story, is I had moved in with James in Austin.
Okay.
And I opened his pantry door, and there's a leg in there.
You know why the leg was in the pantry?
Yeah, because it kept moving around.
Because he wouldn't let Angel make a pipe out of it.
Yeah. Well, that, and I noticed myself that it would move around. I left it in the pantry. I was like, you know what? Not my leg.
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
No, I was like, you know what? I have 2 perfectly good ones right now. I don't need it. Woke up, it was like a couple of days later. Damn thing was on the coffee table. So I walk up to James. I'm like, why'd you put the leg on the coffee table? He's like,
It does that.
No, he was like, I thought you did. I was like, no, I didn't touch that damn thing.
It does that.
It's weird. The damn thing moved around the apartment.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Dude, at this point in my life, living in my parents' house, which is the mecca of like weird shit happening, I've learned to accept stuff. To the point of, actually, a couple of weeks ago, I'm sitting in my kitchen, and my significant other is convinced that there is a spirit of something following her around. Normally, I'd be like, okay, crazy pants, I love you. But there's just way too many things going on. The first place that we moved into was a trailer, and we had her daughter and my daughter, and they're sitting at the kitchen table. And if anybody who's lived in a trailer, when you go running across the trailer, you can hear it through the entire thing. So we're sitting there, and it sounds like one of the kids fucking bolted to the back of the house. And I turned to yell at them, and they're both sitting there. And, she's sitting there at the counter just cutting. I was like, hey, did you hear that? She's like, mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. Every place we've moved into, just like weird sounds, noises.
Was this the trailer that had the portal to hell in the one bathroom?
Yeah, she fell through there was a weak spot in the damn bathroom, and she fell through.
There's like gaping hole in the floor.
I thought it was like a poop joke for a second.
No. But anyway, so fast forward a couple of weeks ago, we're sitting there, and there's a gallon jug of water. I had filled up a gallon jug, I put it on the counter, and this thing was like securely on there. It is by a stove and everything, and we're sitting there talking, and the damn thing all of a sudden is across the kitchen floor. Ogre was yawning. It wasn't all like, no. He
Why
was
would they waste the water like that?
But it flew across the kitchen floor. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't even care anymore.
You know what? Fuck you too, you asshole.
Yeah.
So basically, you're like Ash at the end of Army Darkness, like, fuck, whatever, I don't care anymore.
pretty much. I mean, it's so bad that I have like literal PTSD that, shit will happen. I'm just like, yeah, I don't even care anymore. Fuck it, bring it.
Klaatu Ferrado Nicto.
Yeah.
Let's go, bitch.
Necktie or nickel.
Oh, God. And
Necktie? Nickel?
there was actually there was actually a study done with like 25 most haunted places around the United States, and San Antonio was in like
3.
Yeah, it was in the top 5.
Nice.
And I mean, it's because so much shit happened. We're talking like Civil War, Battle of the Alamo, all the other missions.
I can't go into the Alamo. I cannot go in there.
City was basically founded on the fact that 186 men sacrificed their life for the future of everyone else around them.
Chicago.
Really?
No, I'm just
Okay.
making fun of Chicago.
I'm like, Chicago was built on an old Indian settlement. What do you mean?
I cannot go into the Alamo.
Everybody everywhere in the United States was built on an ancient Indian burial ground.
Oh, it's so bad. That's horrendous.
That's not making fun of the Native Americans or anything like that. That is
just
literally
truth.
just saying.
That is sad truth. Yeah.
Yeah. If you like built a house on an old dog park where people buried their dogs, you're building it on an ancient pet burial ground. It is you can't go anywhere without tripping over history.
You move the headstones, but you move the bodies.
Oh God, dude, no.
Jeez,
absolutely not.
Oh God.
I mean, there are stories of people who work downtown seeing, like the reenactors.
Seeing
walking around.
Mexicans walking and like Mexican soldiers walking around.
And they're like, oh, they must be doing a reenactment. And someo's like,
it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Why would they be doing a reenactment? Use your common sense.
It's 3 a.m.
It's noon on a Wednesday.
Yeah. But, I mean, I've never heard of a city, and I'm sure that they exist, but a city to where it's just so free and open. I mean, we have ghost tours. We've got, they used to have the Ghosts of the Alamo, which was like a 4D experience. They used holograms back when holograms was a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Like laser light shows.
Yeah.
Before Tupac made it in concert.
Dude, I swear to God, that's
a weird way of saying
concert.
Speaking of the supernatural.
Yeah.
How does he keep writing songs from the grave?
It's just, I don't know.
He's recording at Graceland.
Obviously.
So, what are you guys doing for Halloween?
Well, I'm actually going to have a little Halloween shindig, as it were, at my place. We're going to be just watching bad Halloween movies and stuff of that nature. We might watch Hocus Pocus for a change of pace. Watch a good Halloween movie.
I was like, Hocus Pocus was
Hocus Pocus was majestic, and it's the only Disney movie in which they have straight up murdered a human being and left it there.
Yep.
And they just leave it there. Everybody overlooks it. In the beginning, three witches kill a person, suck out their soul, and use it to give themselves youth. Put the corpse in a chair, put a sheet over the corpse, and it's there the rest of the movie. It is there every time they go into the house. Nice. Still there.
Chris?
I don't know yet. Me and my wife would like to make costume. We were thinking about doing like a couple's costume this year, making Pinky in the Brain.
Oh, nice.
I actually decided that this year I was going to have a little bit of a Halloween party, so I invited about a dozen people over to a friend of mine's house, and then called her up and said, hey, by the way, I know you're introverted and hate having people in your home, but I'm going to dig you out of your shell with my introvert axe, or with my extrovert axe, and we're having a Halloween party at your place.
Oh, she hates you so much right now.
What? Yeah, so, by the way, invite your new boyfriend, because I want to get to know the guy. What? Yeah, these are all the people I invited over. No. I have keys to your house, and the invitations are already sent out. I hate you. Yes, I know. So, yeah, because she's got a 5-year-old, and I've got a 3-year-old, and a friend of ours has little kids, and the other friend of ours, well, who cares if she's 41? She is a little kid. She's kind of awesome. So we're all going to dress up in hilarious costumes and take Spider-Man and the chick from Arendelle, the Anna,
Elsa.
Thank you. Whichever one, Anna or Elsa, I can't tell them apart.
The blonde one.
The blonde one is Elsa.
Then she's going to be Elsa because she's a little blonde kid.
Cool.
We're going to take Elsa and Spider-Man and 2 other children in random costumes around, and I'm going to probably dress in, man clothes.
It just occurred to me.
I'm probably just going to be a rabbit in a man suit.
So what you should do is you should bring the leg with you. Everybody,
it's long gone.
I was saying, if you let's give it a week. He'll be back. Just go every house. There's there's no treats. So they give you some kind of terrible treats. It's here. Have this.
What about you, Mark? What are you doing for Halloween?
I'm going to do the same thing I do every year. I'm going to go
try to take over the world.
No. I'm going to be going to my mother's house to pass out candy because apparently the neighborhood that I live in, nobody believes in passing out candy. Am I the only one here that saw the American Horror Story, the new season?
I think so.
I've not even seen it.
I can't. It's got clowns, and my significant other has a big thing with clowns.
She's coulrophobia.
She saw it at a formative age. She can't even walk by storm drains. Straight up, she will avoid storm drains if at all possible.
We all float down here.
Let me point out something. So I grew up in a fundamentalist Christian household, and in my late teens was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Mm-hmm. So what's the deal with the storm drains? Because I've never seen it.
Okay, so the clown pops up in storm
Tim
drains.
Curry?
Yeah, it's Tim Curry.
Tim Curry played Pennywise?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No shit.
It was awesome.
He pops up in storm drains throughout the
miniseries.
movie.
No, it's only one storm drain.
Oh, I thought it was a couple of them.
No,
it's one storm drain and one bathroom drain.
Yeah, because he's trying to convince the child to come down to the storm drain because he wants to kill the child. Mm-hmm. And it says, it's okay, you can come down here. Mm-hmm. We float down here. We all float down here.
No. Are there balloons down there? Oh, there's tons of balloons down there.
Yeah.
Do they float? Oh, of course they float. They all float down here. Grabs the kid.
Yeah. It's messed up, but the clown from American Horror Story that this season was premised with Freak Show. Mm-hmm. So, and it's got literal people that were in real life. They've always been real big, that series, in trying to mix in history with their story. Mm-hmm. And they've got the Lobster Boy, which was a real person. Mm-hmm. That's played by Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movie.
Mm. I'm sorry, Maximoff. You couldn't say Quicksilver.
Yeah, I couldn't call him Quicksilver. Mm-hmm. It's got Kathy Bates is the bearded woman, which was a real person. But they've got, I mean, it's all based on real carnival folks, but they have a clown on there that was voted the scariest clown on television
In his
ever.
first episode.
In the first episode. And the person who plays the clown, little known fact, Drew Carey's brother from the Drew Carey Show. The one that used to cross-dress and married Mimi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Oh, dude, he is fucked up. Like
So this clown persona is this guy's actual persona?
No. But
Just the clown is fucking terrifying.
the best way to
You
describe
need to
the
see the
clown.
movie Vulgar.
I think it's worse than Vulgar, I've heard.
Yeah, the best way to describe the clown is it's got the old white, what used to be white and red clown suit, like you would see on a porcelain doll, and it's got this clown, like the bottom half is the smile, the ear to ear smile that just and it's all dingy, so it looks really jacked up. Then his regular eyes, which he's painted his face white, and what looks like it should have been the top of the clown mask, but you can tell it's the top of someone's head.
Yeah, it's a scalp.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like he's wearing the scalp.
I feel like being a brunette today.
Yeah. And I'm not even going to say the words, but pretty much the bottom half of the mask falls out and you realize he's missing his bottom jaw. And
That sounds pretty awesome.
And he puts it on real quick, and I mean, he goes around and he kills people.
Well, isn't it also like little diamonds on his face and that like carved in, not actually painted on?
I didn't know. I didn't pay that much attention to it, so I mean, possibly.
And that's fucking terrifying. I only
Yeah.
saw the preview and like a couple frames of his face, and I was like, I'm not watching that.
But one on the preview isn't even the clown
No,
that
it's
they
not.
use.
It's a totally different
Wow.
one.
It is a completely
Really?
different one, so
It's even worse.
do not let
Yes.
your significant other anywhere near
that show. Got it.
Like, you will be peeling her off the ceiling
Yeah, no, I know
within
it.
5 minutes.
I know it.
But American Horror Story, to me, it brought back the true storytelling of the paranormal. The first season was called The Murder House, and it was loosely based off the Winchester House was based off of the Winchester family, the famous family that built the guns,
Yeah.
your Winchester guns, yeah. And what happened is Mrs. Winchester was told that she needed to build this house, and she needed to continue building it, or the spirits of everybody who was killed from her family's guns would come for her. So she spent the rest of her, like literally the rest of her life, building this house. It's what Rose Red was based off of, Stephen King's Rose Red, and Murder House.
And it's not like she stopped building like, oh, go to bed. No, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 for 40 years.
People were building.
People were building.
I mean, there are staircases that lead to nowhere, rooms that lead to nowhere.
False doors.
Yeah, false doors.
Doors that open up to the outside, like literally the outside falling off
Yep.
the third story.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a museum now.
Yes.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, and the good for you. The people who work there, if you don't go with tour guide, you can get lost there forever.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, wonderful. Oh,
Like
pleasant.
literally to the point that the door that opens outside, that might be your best bet.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Also,
Wonderful. Remind me, I need to wear brown corduroy pants when I go there.
She was also very fascinated with the number 13.
Yes.
Oh, great.
So majority of the stairs have 13 steps, like a hangman's
thing.
noose kind of thing.
Oh, excellent. I'm so glad that I don't have triskaidekaphobia. Seriously.
Oh, the first season was based off of Murder House, and it was, to me, the best season ever.
It was good.
Second season was Asylum, and
Yeah,
it was like an insane asylum mixed with like alien
Aliens,
stuff,
yeah, they couldn't figure out
with
what
a
they wanted to
serial
do.
killer. It was just really weird. Third season was Coven, dealing with witches, and everyone's like, it was the best season ever. I'm like, no, it's not the first one. The first one where it introduced everybody, because Evan Peters plays a fantastic psychopath.
Thank you very much for letting me join you.
Yeah, no problem.
Alrighty. Well, for those of you who have forgotten or didn't listen last time, shame on you. But for those of you who need a refresher, we have a contest going on right now to see who can guess when I'm going to sneak in that one really popular Idina Menzel song from Frozen into an episode. Go ahead and shoot us an email at @3bnerds with a Z ogrehalloweens@yahoo.com.
Or you can actually just go to the website and there is a contact tab.
So go ahead and drop us a line at our email address, which you can access either through our Phantom of the Beard website, of which there is a link on the video. You can also reach out to us just at _3bnerds with a Z at yahoo.com. Drop us a line. Tell us what episode you think I'm going to sneak that song in. And if you can get it down to a 5-minute margin and be the one who does, we'll go ahead and send you not only a t-shirt, but also a hat from Honest Amish Beard Products. Not to forget, they also have a promo code they've given us so that you can go ahead and get 10% off any item at Honest Amish Beard Products, which is amishbeardcare.com. They're amazing. I use them personally. Chris has just started using it. You just heard him rant and rave.
The promo code is 10NERDS, NERDZ 10. That's 10NERDS 10.
Mm-hmm. And that'll get you 10% off one product at amishbeardcare.com.
We also have a new affiliate with us. It is comicbento.com. It is an excellent place to go for all your comic book needs. They have subscriptions where you pay for your subscription, and once a month they will send you a box full of comic books, collectibles, anything like that. Again, you can go to our website under the affiliates tab. You click on Comic Bento and order what you need to order. I use that product. It is very fantastic. It gets they send me all of my comics at a very, very low rate. And it's better than spending, what are comics now, like $2.19 a piece?
Whoa, this is like 5 years ago. No. There's been talk before about making some Batman issues $5 an issue.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, that starts off at $17.50 a month. That's if you go month by month. No, I'm sorry. That's actually, if you pay for 6 months at once, it comes out to $17.50. The month by month is you spend $20 and they send you literally a fat stack of comic books.
Mm-hmm. They got them fat stacks.
Yeah. It is quite fantastic. So comicbento.com, or if you go to our website, click on the affiliates, and you can click right up.
If you're listening to us today, it is courtesy of Richard Thurman Studios. Go ahead and check them out today.
Yep. It is richardthurmanentertainment.com. Also, I love the affiliates page. If you go to the affiliates page, you click on Richard Thurman Entertainment. It'll take you directly to his page. It gives you address and a way to contact him. And we all personally love the studio. We love the recordings that we get from here.
And he's also a pretty chill bro.
Oh yeah, he's a great person.
Bro stuff.
Again, Ogre, thanks for coming by.
Whether your beard's on your face or in your heart. Thanks for listening.